Hello, Malik Carrington here, Family Budget Fisherman. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for participating in the growth of this channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate all of the comments, both from me to you. I appreciate the comments that you have among yourself across videos. I'm really heartened by your articulateness and how you present your positions, how mature you are and how respectful you are. I really do appreciate all the interaction that is happening so far on this channel and among the videos. I'm learning so much from you. I'm becoming acquainted with many of you, and this is an apex experience for me to be able to interact with you all on this level, especially with something, this is the third favorite thing I like to do. Number one, worship God. Number two, be a married man. And now this. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. And to be able to share this experience with you. And so, and by the way, I also wanted to mention how much I appreciate you all helping me out with that YouTube algorithm. That you're liking the video, subscribing to the channel, many of you. Not as many as I hope, because I'm getting hundreds and hundreds, and in a few cases, even thousands of people watching the videos. And I'm hoping that my subscriber base creeps up there just the same. But having said that, I really do enjoy the fact that you all are helping me with that as well. I do appreciate those of you who are subscribers and then subscribers of the Instagram channel just the same. I really do appreciate all of the interaction on both social media platforms. But I really want to take the time to let you know how much it means to me that you are responding to products that I'm sharing with you in just this way. So without further ado, I want to move right into the reason why you got here, the reason why you're watching, that is. And that is the terminal tackle that I use, especially for 2021. You have seen this rod many times, and you might see it several more times as I'm sharing with you things that I'm doing on, fishing related. This is my Phoenix M1 2020 spinning rod, and it is paired with the Shimano Vanford spinning reel. This is the C3000 XG model, and this is a 7'8" Phoenix M1 2020. The main line on here is the Fins Fishing 40G, a 2-pound test diameter, or like I call it, 15-pound break strength. The leader material on here is 20-pound test trilene fluorocarbon, and it has a snap at the tag end of the leader. Now, the reason why I have it set up this way is, number one, looking at how traditional setups are, a lot of people who fish in this way with a leader to braid will have, in this case, because this is a 7'8" rod, they may have about 12 feet of this leader material on here. Not this heavy, but definitely about 12 feet of the material on there, of the line on there. And then what they will do is they would tie it so that the double uni knot that they have is down around in this area of the reel. And as a result, they have this long leader that they're casting and retrieving. And the purpose of the casting and retrieving, that long leader, serves two purposes for them. Number one, all of us are putting on the leader material for stealth, but theirs is additional because a lot of times they're tying and retying baits, and they just need that much line in order to do it. Because I have a snap, I've eliminated that. Now, also, an advantage that I have over the way those others are set up is the fact that because this is such thin braided line, And this 20-pound test diameter is such a heavy line. Remember, fluorocarbon is heavy. What this creates for me is something that happens in fly fishing, where they have a forward tapering line. They're a lot of times they're throwing very, very tiny flies. Fly fishermen are, and when they throw these tiny flies, because there's no weight to cast a tiny fly even 15 or 20 feet, and they're trying to get it in some cases 50 feet away from them. They need to have some weight in the line so that they can get that cast out. And it's called a front taper, where the weight is distributed on the tag end of the line that they are throwing out, so that they can get a good presentation. Now, and that's the main line, not the actual leader material that they have, but the main line that they have. So using an aspect of that style, that's what this does. This provides enough weight so when I'm casting, I can cast extremely far. Now, this setup already provides me an opportunity to really play catch with God. You know, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but I can really cast this thing out. And I was surprised at how far I could cast this. I wondered at one time, did I have enough line on here to cast as far as I was casting? I was able to make it, but boy, was it close. This is a fun combo to cast. And I mean, it is far. I don't know if it's as far as a bait caster or not. I don't know. I know that it casts far enough for what I need. All of my needs are met with that cast as far as this can cast. And I'm talking about a 3/8 ounce weight. I'm not talking about anything super, super heavy. And this can handle up to 3/4 weight. So, but that's what this provides for me, is that opportunity to have that front taper on there. I don't have a long leader material there, and I don't have to constantly tie and retie on here. So that works out well for me. Now, there will be a second aspect of me relating passively about braided line, and it'll come up in just a few more minutes. But I wanted to mention that to you so that you know that that is an advantage that this combo has in terms of presentation, and why I choose to use or to construct my combo in the way that I have. Okay. By the way, I call this, if I didn't already say it, I call this leader my dependent leader. I'll share with you some independent leaders momentarily, but this is my dependent leader. It's one of the two types of leaders that I have when I'm out fishing. Sometimes my setups are without a leader. I just have a snap tied to the main line, and it, as you can see it there, it's a snap tied to the main line. And again, I have the Fins 215. This is my Shimano Zodius rod, and it is paired with the Creed GT3000 reel. And again, this is a really good combo. Allows me to cast very, very far when I need to cast that far. But the advantage that I have is because it doesn't have a leader, I can add what I like to call independent leaders to them. And I'm going to share with you a couple of styles of independent leaders. I just dropped one right down here. So I'm going to go ahead on and pick it up real quick before I step on it. And now, so I have this leader here. This is a drop shot leader, very typical for my style of fishing. And as you can see, it is constructed with a swivel. Then, of course, it has the fishing hook itself. And then it has a little bitty snap called a fast snap, F-A-S snap. Okay. Now, this leader allows me the flexibility of being able to change out if I want to make a bigger hook. And I mean as big a hook as, here's one of my punching hooks. I guess this is what we call a Siwash O'Shaughnessy style flipping hook. Now I can attach this on there, or any other line. Any other lure any other hook that I can. What I tend to do is I will set up about maybe 3 or 4 of these for the day, and whatever happens, because when I'm out there on the water, I don't want to spend time tying anything. All I want to do is get out there and fish. I'm like you. Time becomes of essence with me. So I have this style, and if you note, this style happens to have the hook closer to the bottom on this leader, if you can see it there. And then I have another style here, as soon as I can find it here, where the hook style, it's over here, where the hook style is closer to the top. And there is a longer tag end beneath it. And this is set up the exact same way as the other, with one exception. It has what is called a standout hook, which in my view, I prefer this style of hook than I do the other style of hook. And again, it has a swivel and a fast snap on it. Now, this fast snap, well, first the swivel. The reason for the swivel is for me to be able to switch out back and forth. A lot of times these drop shots, they spin like this. And that snap helps out, that swivel helps out a lot to prevent the line twist, and also allows me to be able to switch back and forth very quickly. This fast snap, the beauty of this fast snap is several fold. This is the second part of I mentioned there were 2 parts, 2 aspects of fly fishing that are part of my regular fishing day. And this is the other one, is to have that fast snap. That fast snap, when I put a drop shot weight on it, allows me a little bit more resistance. If I get this weight caught somewhere, gives me a little bit more resistance, that I'm not just giving away drop shot weights, because as you know, drop shot weights are pretty doggone expensive. And these 50-year-old eyes are trying to look for that hole. There we go. And it snaps right on there. It has a brace strength of between 7 and 9 pounds. So if it gets caught on something, if I can't, get it out, I can still pull it and then just snip this off, put on another one, and keep it going. So that's what this is for. It's an opportunity to try to save money, so I'm not giving the water systems, my lead and my tungsten, because lead and tungsten can get pretty expensive. Now, lead on its own is not expensive, but when you set it up like this as a drop shot weight, it is very expensive. So that's the reason why I have that there. Now, the other type of independent leader that I have is called a twofold. It's a Carolina rig. Okay. And this is the first one. I'm going to explain this. And I have this Carolina rig set up with what is called a perfect loop knot. And it's called a perfect loop knot because when tied the right way, the tag end is at a 90 degree angle next to the loop itself. And it's set up the typical Carolina way, with the exception it doesn't have a bead up here, and I only have one bead down there. But it does have, say, this bullet weight, a bead, and a bobber stop. And then, of course, I could put my favorite lure on here. I can select my different sizes of hooks. And another advantage that this has, if you notice, this doesn't have this has the perfect loop knot and not a swivel. So in case I'm in an opportunity where I need a different or heavier weight, I can just slide this bullet weight off. And as you can see, it doesn't run any interference on my knot at all. And I can put another one on. I happen to not have any heavier ones here right now, but suffice it to say, if I did, I can just slide it on and be no problem. And as you can see, I can just slide it on and off fairly easy. Now, if I'm Carolina rigging and I suddenly want to do Texas rigging, all I do is take this and push it down. And now I have a Texas rig. And this is an interesting style of a Texas rig because this is kind of like a swing head style of a Texas rig. And I can still put my favorite hook on there, and I can tie the hook, the lure on there weedless, and be just as successful as I would normally be with a Texas rig. And what this does is this puts with this line or with this combo, with this leader, I have at least 2 different presentations that I could make out there on the water. Of course, because I can take this off, that gives me at least 3, 4, or 5. So I have 2 with the leader, and then I can do topwater, crankbait, spinnerbait. The world is an oyster on that. So that's flexibility with just 1 leader and 1 rod. Now, the next one is for me to explain the other types, the snaps and the swivels. When I buy snaps, I'll start off with the snaps. When I buy snaps, I make sure that I don't do this. I have in my hand by a reputable company, Eagle Claw, where they sell snaps with no break strength rating on it. I don't know what these break at, so it generally depend on serious fishing with these. And I would not encourage you to do that as well. If I'm going to fish with snaps, and this is why a lot of people have snaps that break, because they buy those kind and we don't know what the break strength of them are. These right here are knee shines or knife shines. They are sold at Tackle Warehouse, and they're very, very tiny, but the break strength on this is 25 pounds. So now I have a rod where my reel, in this particular case, is 13 pounds on the drag, 15 pounds on the main line, and then the leader is a 20-pound test, a fluorocarbon. The snap on there is 25 pounds break strength. And then take a look at this. For the times that I have a swivel on there, these are Spro swivels, size 8. Sometimes these are so tiny that my leader happens to be heavier than these swivels. The break strength on here, if you can see that there, is 50 pounds. So equipment failure is rarely going to be my problem if I don't catch my personal best this year. It's probably going to be some other form of error, because remember, fishing is not the equipment. These are tools. The real fishing is your 5 senses. Your hearing, your seeing, your smelling, your not as much as your tasting, but that kind of flows into your at least your smelling, and then your touch. If you don't have your mental and physical acuity together when you're out there on the water, I don't care what you have. You can be flanked with all G. Loomis conquests, with Daiwa's best $700 or $800 reel, and you're still not going to catch any fish if you are not together. You are the fishing and the fisherman, not these tools. So having said that, let me return back to this. As I have already described the fast snaps and everything else, I wanted to mention this here. So there are going to be times when I do want a dedicated leader. I'll tie it real short. It'll be just like that. And I can again swap this out for a bigger leader, bigger weight or smaller weight. I happen to use this because as far as big worms are concerned, this is a 9-inch curly tail worm. This is one of the most successful big bass rigs in my arsenal. I can say this, that I've caught more big bass, more bass over 5 pounds with this particular rig than anything else in my arsenal. Anything else in my arsenal. I've done very well, especially in dirty water. Oh my goodness. So I think I have shared with you just about everything on how my setups happen to be. It's not a lot, but as you can see the diversity therein, my hope is that I've shared something here with you that helps you once again to break your personal best for 2021. And remember, don't spend a whole lot of money trying to trying to get out there and go fishing, but do everything you can to get out there and break your personal best. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. We'll talk again.